When I first saw this chart, I found it very relevant. It's a simple two-dimensional chart with time and expectations. And it shows that at the beginning of the innovation trigger, when it happened to us, for example, 2 years ago, we heard all about generative AI, and we wanted to dive in and understand what it does. Expectations were realistic or minimal because we didn't know what to expect and what we're going to get out of it. Soon, everybody had inflated expectations, but then quickly after that, we kind of came down to the reality of what they call the trough of disillusionment. And I believe many of us are kind of inching our way, climbing up to that slope of enlightenment, but nobody's at that plateau of productivity yet. I believe most in the industry are sort of in this shaded area, and at Optimal Blue, we're closer to the right side, because when we started 2 years ago, there was no, and Jason mentioned the agentic framework, there was no MCP servers, there was no agentic framework. The RAG was a new thing. So the LLMs were static. They only knew about what the data that were trained on, and you couldn't augment it with additional data. Now it's different. It has evolved, so we are able to have a lot of use cases that we can implement AI for. And I will say, if you have not started your AI journey, the good news is actually you may not be behind, because you can jump from number 1 to number 4, skip 2 and 3, and learn from the rest of our experiences about the inflated expectations and coming down with, I'm not going to call it disappointment, but a reality check of what AI can do. And it's not magic, it is how you implement it and how you use it.